There's true concern. I haven't been this nervous about a fire ever.
A new fire burning in Southern California tonight, forcing many people from their homes. Nearly 10,000 acres burned so far in just a matter of hours.
The situation remains dynamic, and the fire remains a difficult fire to contain, although we are getting the upper hand.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. That new brush fire is growing quickly tonight with strong winds once again sweeping across Southern California. The Hughes fire is burning in Los Angeles and Ventura counties near Castaic Lake. And this is a live look tonight at the fire zone from the air, where crews are trying to slow the spread of these flames. This fire started earlier this morning and exploded in size this afternoon, burning more than 9,000 acres of brush and vegetation. Tonight, there is no containment on these flames. And roughly 50,000 people have been told to evacuate by authorities or to prepare to leave their homes if the fire heads toward them. The good news tonight is that authorities don't have any reports of homes or other structures being damaged. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf is in the fire zone tonight. Here's a look at some of what he's seeing.
I mean, geez, you can just look at that. It's unbelievable. This line of fire up and down this hill. Just pan up as far as you can see up that hill, and then just the thick smoke up there. But you can see it. I mean, it's spreading very quickly, and you just, right when it hits another branch or a tree, it just erupts in a big fireball of flames again. And it's just unbelievable. I do see some helicopters over here. Looks like they're just monitoring it at this point, but again, just letting it grow and push to the south. Definitely concerning situation. I want to pause for a second, and maybe you can hear the crackling and the popping of this fire. Yeah, it is ripping and roaring up this hillside right now. Very ferocious. It's almost like it's angry going up this hill. Go ahead and send it back to you.
Department, mandatory evacuation order is in effect.
Earlier today, first responders drove through neighborhoods near that fire, warning people in danger that they needed to evacuate immediately. Santa Clarita's mayor, Bill Miranda, spoke about the importance of following those evacuation orders, knowing it's difficult for many people to leave their homes.
If it's a warning, prepare to evacuate. If it's an order, evacuate now. Don't wait 10 minutes and see what's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change in 10 minutes. We want you to evacuate now. Do not hesitate. Do not stay. Grab the necessary items and leave as quickly as you can. And when we mention grab the necessary items, we're talking about critical papers or critical medicine that you may need. We're not talking about packing a suitcase. We're talking about packing a backpack and having it ready.
And many homeowners in this area say they were quick to take action as soon as they learned that this fire was spreading quickly.
We are just hosing our house, like put as much water as we can, because we cannot even, I think we need to leave soon. So we're just making sure that before we leave, that at least our essential and at least protect our house a little bit. Yeah.
You are going to evacuate?
Yeah. As soon as the officer said that we will evacuate, we will for sure follow them.
Yeah, you can see a lot of people doing whatever they can to try to protect their homes before they evacuate. Let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who is tracking the red flag conditions that are increasing the fire danger in Southern California right now. And Mark, I guess the question is how long these strong winds are going to stick around here.
Well, Alex, yeah, those winds in the short term will be picking up tonight into your Thursday. So basically tonight and into Thursday. Unfortunately, those winds will be a big factor, and just so sad to see another big fire develop and with rapid growth throughout the day. You can see it started at 10:53 this morning, over 9,000 acres with this fire, the Hughes fire. And this is the bad news in this area in Southern California in the fire zone. We actually have a high wind warning that begins 10 o'clock tonight until 2 p.m. on Thursday, and winds could be gusting to over 50 miles an hour. So this is all linked up with the red flag warning once again from, as you can see, from Ventura County all the way down toward portions of San Diego. As we come in closer right now, the red flag warning until 10 o'clock Friday morning. Winds as we showed you, around 50 to 60 miles an hour. And once again, it's a very dry pattern. The relative humidity values have been coming down into the single digits, around 2 to 3%. So where you see these bright colors, that's where we have some strong winds picking up. And this is tomorrow morning, as you can pick out. So Thursday, 7 o'clock in the morning, and still some strong winds into the afternoon hours. Santa Clarita, Newhall could have gusts approaching 40 miles an hour, and then still breezy to windy into your Thursday evening, but then they should gradually back off later in the day, Thursday and into Friday. Los Angeles today, it was a warm day as well. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Tomorrow, they'll be right around 80 degrees. In the San Francisco Bay Area, lots of sunshine and temperatures on the mild side as well. In the mid-60s after a cold start this morning. And then up in Seattle, a few high clouds, but still a nice day. Temperatures once again in the 40s, 44 degrees. Showing you this is satellite. All is fairly quiet. Just some scattered high clouds moving into Southern California, so no major storms to talk about on the satellite. And here's the radar. Not a ton of coverage to show you as well. So it's a dry weather pattern across a good portion of the west. Current numbers out there, we have some upper 30s in Portland and Seattle. San Francisco's 54. Phoenix in the mid-50s at 55 degrees, and Salt Lake City 28. Here's the forecast for tomorrow. About a 30% chance of some showers up in the Seattle area. Temperatures once again in the 40s. More sunshine out toward Denver for Phoenix as well. Look at Southern California. Temperatures could be touching the 80-degree mark in Los Angeles. So here's showing you the forecast model with the cloud cover, and there's a chance of a shower up in Seattle. We will take this into your Friday. More clouds moving into California into the weekend. We will see eventually some changes, and we could actually have some rainfall approaching the fire zones in Southern California. That could be late Saturday and into Sunday. So here's the plan over the next 3 days. Some clouds moving into the Seattle area for tomorrow. Sunshine for San Francisco on Thursday, but more clouds into Friday. Lots of sunshine for Phoenix and also out in the Los Angeles area. Those temperatures mainly in the 70s. But unfortunately, Alex, those winds will continue to pick up tonight into tomorrow. So a big time challenge for the fire crews as fire season continues for that portion of the state.
Yeah, going to be tough for those crews for the next couple of days. Mark, thank you. Well, rain in the forecast is posing a new threat for Southern California's fire zones. KTVU meteorologist Roberta Gonzalez visited a staging area that's been set up to help protect burned out neighborhoods from potential mudslides.
We are here in Pasadena. This is a staging center for sandbags. Now think about this. Firefighters are busy enough fighting fires, and then meanwhile they're also preparing these sandbags to be distributed out throughout Los Angeles County. Now let me set the stage for you. We had the Pacific Palisades fire, we had the Eaton fire, and that's where we are. We're in the Eaton fire zone, and now rain is in the forecast. You mix rain in with the fire, well, we have a lot of contamination that's being observed in the air and in the ground itself. So how do they prepare here in Los Angeles? Well, we talked to one city spokesperson from Pasadena, and here's what she had to say. Let's give it a listen.
We are concerned. That's why we're preparing now while we still have a few days in between. Working vigorously to get K-rails and barriers up into these foothill areas, in addition to sandbags to the residents that need them most.
So the sandbags, over 20,000 here right now, will be distributed to different fire stations across the Los Angeles area, and that's still probably not enough. This, however, is not a sandbag pickup location. This is merely a staging center where firefighters have been placing the sandbags out for distribution. They've been telling residents it's the same thing we do in the Bay Area, to call your local fire station in your neighborhood for a pickup. But right now, Mayor Bass in the Los Angeles County area, she has already said, hey, we have emergency orders. We are going to secure the hillsides here. We're going to secure the mountainous areas. We're going to secure Los Angeles County with the impending rain. Reporting from Pasadena, Roberta Gonzalez, KTVU Fox 2 News.
And tonight, crews have the Eaton fire 95% contained. Those are numbers that we just got a short time ago. And the Palisades fire is now 70% contained. Combined, those fires have burned nearly 38,000 acres, destroying more than 16,000 homes and other structures, and 28 people have died in those fires. President Trump will travel to Southern California this Friday to survey the wildfire damage there. LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger spoke about that visit earlier today. She says she will have a chance to speak. I beg your pardon. She says the president will have a chance to speak with victims who need help.
When you meet the residents who have been impacted by these wildfires, it's compelling as it relates to the need, both at the federal level, state, and quite frankly at the county level. So my goal is to let them speak, let them tell him what they're looking at in terms of rebuilding.
And President Trump says he is also making plans to visit Nevada as well while he's here in the West. The exact day and location of that visit is unclear, although we do understand it's expected to happen sometime after his trip to Southern California.
We do.
Rise up, fight back.
Coming up tonight, violent scenes in Oregon after a protest over President Trump's executive orders. Tonight, police move in and make arrests. Also, new moves made by the incoming Trump administration could affect what you pay for prescription drugs. We'll check in with a pharmacist about what's happening and what it could mean for patients.
People's rights are under attack. What do?
Rise up, fight back.
Police in Portland say they've arrested 5 people during a protest. Hundreds marched to the Battleship Oregon Memorial yesterday to show their opposition to the actions of the Trump administration, including executive orders on gender identity, immigration, and birthright citizenship. 5 people were taken into custody for vandalism. Tonight, the Justice Department is calling for investigations into state and local officials who stand in the way of immigration enforcement. The Associated Press reports it's obtained a memo written by the acting Deputy Attorney General directing everyone at the Justice Department to crack down on illegal immigration. That letter suggests that officials in sanctuary cities across the country could potentially face charges if they interfere with immigration enforcement. Laws in sanctuary cities often put legal limits on how law enforcement in those jurisdictions cooperate with the feds. Today, the Pentagon announced it will send 1,500 active duty troops to the southern border. Acting Defense Secretary Robert Salesses says the troops will fly helicopters to assist Border Patrol agents, and they will also assist in deportation flights. It remains to be seen if they will be tasked with law enforcement. In the border town of Nogales, Arizona, there's mixed reaction to the Trump administration's illegal immigration crackdown.
Come and go, they spend thousands and thousands of dollars here, and he forgets that. The same way we go over and we spend our money over there. We need each other, and there isn't any animosity here between the border.
It makes it manageable. It adds resources, technology, personnel, infrastructure, all the things we need to do to secure the border, to secure our country, but also brings engagement back to these communities.
The active duty troops will join roughly 2,500 U.S. National Guard and reserve forces already working along the border. And about 100 migrants were deported from the U.S. into Mexico last night. They could be seen filing through a border facility in Tijuana, walking towards some vans. One man told reporters he was detained in Oregon. Another man shouted out that he was being deported in a group arrested in farm fields near Denver. Neither man's account could be confirmed. Authorities say they were taking these deportees to a shelter in Mexico. Some of the orders President Trump promised to revive from his first administration include forcing asylum seekers to remain in Mexico, and he has also promised to finish the border wall. Well, President Trump has signed an executive order allowing ICE agents to arrest migrants at churches and schools. Fox 13's Alejandra Guzman shows us how leaders in church and school communities are preparing.
We're just rolling with the punches right now.
Pastor Jan Moeller-Jack is taking it one day at a time. The Trump administration saying they will not tie the hands of officers, trusting them to use common sense while enforcing immigration laws. Acting Homeland Security Secretary Benjamin Huffman saying criminals will no longer be able to hide in America's schools and churches to avoid arrest.
These are going to be targeted enforcement operations. When ICE goes out, they're going to know exactly who they're looking for, pretty much where they'll find them. It's a well-planned operation.
The policy shift sparking sharp criticism from faith leaders and advocates. Bolerjack was taking in hundreds of migrants from Congo, Angola, and Venezuela for the last several years, says this is deeply concerning.
Oh, it added an element of fear. I want people to have places, safe places that they can go to, especially if they're ill. They should be able to go to the hospital, should be able to go to school.
Churches and places of worship have always been considered as sanctuaries, a safe space.
Yeah, they do feel safe here, and I hope we continue to make that point that they are safe here.
Bolerjack strongly believes in the separation of church and state. She's taken a stand. The first step she'll take if agents show up is asking them to show proper warrants before stepping onto church property.
My biggest fear is that someone's going to get picked up and deported, and we're not really even going to know what's happening.
The church has started preparing power of attorney documents to ensure children are cared for should their parents be deported.
But that's scary. Suddenly we're going to have kids without parents. That's terrible.
While ICE is facing a budget shortfall of $230 million and a logistical challenge, Trump has said there's no price tag on his deportation plan. Pastor Bolerjack urging those who don't like what they're saying to
make sure they step up, to make sure they're ready to respond, to make sure they're ready to be a front line to protect the folks.
Washington State Attorney General Nick Brown's office told me they're reviewing Trump's policies and the impacts it may have on Washington, but they do say that schools and churches are vital spaces and this could deter families from accessing essential resources. UW-Medicine also saying that they're going to comply with all federal rules and regulations, but at the same time they're committed to supporting the community. I've also reached out to Seattle Public Schools and the Tacoma School District, but we're waiting to hear back. In Tequila, Alejandra Guzman, Fox 13 News.
Tonight, more than 24 people are in U.S. Border Patrol custody after their boat ran out of fuel in Southern California. This happened on Monday morning just off the coast of Oceanside. Lifeguards found a Panga-style boat with 26 people on board after it ran out of fuel about a mile offshore. The lifeguards reached out to the Coast Guard and crews were able to bring everyone safely to shore. The Coast Guard says the people on board were migrants from several different countries, including Mexico, China, and Vietnam. Well, among the many actions he's taken during his first days in office, President Trump has reversed a Biden-era order that was designed in part to lower prescription drug prices. Fox 13's Julia Sandor is in Utah tonight, where a pharmacist is weighing in on what this potentially could mean for patients.
Many people may face challenges or financial hurdles when it comes to paying for prescription drugs. I spoke to one local pharmacist about what he's seeing behind the counter. In 2022, former President Joe Biden signed an executive order lowering prescription drug costs for Americans. The hope was to phase in a cap for out-of-pocket costs at pharmacies, as well as allowing negotiations with pharmaceutical companies on costly medications. This would just apply for those with Medicare. The
Biden administration was planning to have a $2 prescription plan for Medicare patients, which has been reversed now. So it's too early to say what impact that will have on patients.
On President Trump's first day in office, he took a step back from that plan, rescinding Biden's previous executive order. This means the proposed cost reduction plans for Medicare patients is put on hold. At Olive Pharmacy, Khalid Mohammed says he's seen a lot of changes for himself and patients over the years.
The patients who are prescribed any medication over $100 struggle to pay that. That's what I have noticed. So it's better to have negotiations with the PBMs and Medicare so that they don't end up paying high prices for life-saving medications.
PBMs are pharmacy benefit managers. Mohammed says PBMs determine how much an insurance company pays a pharmacy for a medication. And recently, he says it hasn't helped bring prices down.
This medication is like $350 to $400 for one bottle for 1 month's supply.
While he's seen prescription medication prices increase over the years, he says he's hopeful that new negotiations could help both patients and pharmacists.
This year I'm kind of I'm being very optimistic. I'm having good expectations from this administration. I hope they negotiate better prices with the pharmaceutical companies and PBMs so that customers and pharmacists can have a positive impact.
In West Valley City, Julia Sandor, Fox News.
And you can find extensive coverage on President Trump's return to the White House up at our website, westcoastwrap.com. Our online coverage there includes a look at how the president has paused the planned arrival of more than 1,600 Afghans who have already been cleared for resettlement here in the U.S. Coming up tonight on West Coast Wrap, high school students in Arizona working to create healthy, delicious meals for their classmates. Tonight, the unique contest designed to find new dishes to serve in schools. President Trump is reversing former President Biden's executive order requiring half of all new cars sold in the U.S. to be electric by the year 2030. But there could be some speed bumps ahead. President Trump has called for the elimination of Biden's mandate, but he also wants to eliminate what he calls unfair subsidies, including the electric vehicle tax credit. However, the credit is a law passed by Congress, so he would need their approval to undo it. The president of David Auto Group, Dave Kelleher, says although he doesn't care for electric cars, there are redeeming parts of the EV tax credit.
Well, there are the things that are pointing everything in the right direction for America and for the people that are out there hardworking.
It is not clear whether President Trump will be able to get rid of the EV tax credit. However, Tesla, run by Doge director and Trump confidant Elon Musk, has several models that qualify for that credit. A Meta spokesperson is speaking up now after some Facebook and Instagram users were surprised to find themselves following President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance after the inauguration this week. Spokesperson Andy Stone clarified in a post on Threads. The official POTUS and White House profiles are official government accounts and change to reflect whoever is in office once leadership changes. After the president is sworn in, the accounts of the previous administration are archived and followers are automatically transferred to the new official account. Well, finally tonight, a healthy food contest in Phoenix. Feeding the Future is challenging high school students to create healthy, great-tasting meals. These dishes are being developed with input from school food professionals. They'll be reviewed to ensure they meet school food guidelines. This whole contest is being put together by the nonprofit group Blue Watermelon, which helps to increase access to fresh foods in schools across Arizona. Some of the students involved in the contest are already offering a preview.
We're making a PB&J breakfast brownie bar. We use 1.5 bananas, applesauce, vanilla extract, and honey.
We're gonna add our dry ingredients, which was our oats, flour, our chocolate chips.
I have some good ideas. The PB&J breakfast bar. That sounds good. This contest takes place this Saturday in Phoenix. And that does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching as always. And a quick reminder before we go, you can stay up to date on all the big stories we're following across the West at our website, which is westcoastwrap.com. Have a great night.